Oh, I gotta stop. I used to be able to actually carry on a whole conversation while you're waiting to go live. And it's like now, okay, quit thinking, quit thinking, quit thinking. So you're going live. All right. So welcome everybody to another Marketing Momentum with Charles and Deborah. Hi,
Hi, Deb.
Charles.
Hi, everybody.
So today we're going to talk about it's actually a continuation on our collaboration theme, but JV Zoo. And like I told Charles, I use JV Zoo, but I feel like I'm maybe I'll say middle of the line. I mean, I'm not a complete novice. I know how to do what I need to do, but otherwise, compared to Charles, I'm a complete novice. I know nothing about JV2, so this is all yours, Charles. But how about let's start, if you don't mind explaining what JV Zoo is, even if you want to throw in some maybe objectives, because I think you've gone to a few conferences, right?
Yeah. Okay, so JV Zoo is it's an affiliate network. So it is a way of, let's say, selling a digital product. Well, I guess you could even sell a physical product. This is a way of selling something and being able then to have other people help you sell it as an affiliate. And that's really what it does extremely well. And what it does is it helps you to attract affiliates because the affiliates are paid instantly. So you sell your digital product for $27. You don't have to try to figure out when you're going to pay the affiliate. You don't have to try to figure out, what their cut is. It all happens automatically in the background at the point of sale. So that's what it does more than anything else. It allows you to recruit affiliates. Now, I mean, you could sell a product on JVZoo and you don't have to recruit affiliates. You could have, you could just want to sell and deliver a product online, and you don't have to have affiliates. It will give you a a link for a buy button, and it'll orchestrate the process of delivering the product, and then orchestrate the process of taking the payment, orchestrate the process of processing a fee, orchestrate the process of creating a record so that the person who buys, right, they have a record. They have an exact record of when they bought, how much they paid. They can go back and look at this forever,
Which
right?
I
They can
do.
all,
I do
right,
that a
yeah.
lot.
And so for the vendor, um, it's kind of interesting because some people say, well, I don't want to sell in JVZoo because I don't want to pay them 5%. And quite honestly, right, there, a lot's happening in the background for that 5% transaction fee, and a lot's happening that you don't have to deal with. And I mean, now with, I guess, was it GDPR, you really do want to have somebody else handling as much of that as you can, right? So I don't want to hold any data. I don't want to be I don't really fully understand the law, but
Mhm.
I don't want anybody's data. I don't want any of it. I mean, and I understand it. If I have it as an email, that's like almost the minimum that you can have without really trying to trip over this law and them coming after you. And so JV Zoo really holds all that, right? So they've really got to make sure that they stay in compliance. So whatever it costs to be in compliance, whatever it costs for all those things with the software to run right, they've got to do all those things. So really, JVSU facilitates a process of being able to buy stuff online, sell stuff online.
There's, just that last part, because I was going to ask you as far as the whole thing about like, why would you want to do it without affiliates and how does that compare to WooCommerce? But all those questions kind of left my mind as soon as you talked about as far as the law aspect, because that, I mean, I don't have a problem with trying to be compliant with these things, but if you look at, there's probably hundreds of examples you could use for this one, but this whole, it's like if you look at the Walmart example, as far as the bulk or the dollar stores, the reason some of this is able to be done is because of the bulk, because of the massive amounts of whatever it is that they have that they sell to people. They can buy it in such bulk amounts that we can buy it for less. Well, it's the same kind of thing as if I'm selling a product and I maybe it's a product that I don't really advertise and it's on my site. And let's say I only sell 30 a month. I don't want to spend the time to have to deal with, especially if that's
Correct.
just, it's one of my secondary sites and that's all I'm doing. And now I've got to go follow the law because of those products. That's a major headache. So
A
yes,
major headache.
if it's something that you have a very low volume, it makes a lot of sense to let someone else handle that.
Yeah, and 5% is not a lot. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you sold $100,000 worth of stuff, yeah, $5,000 you could do something with. At the same time, though, is that $5,000 worth over the course of 12 months, the time that you'd have to spend trying to comply with this law. And the other thing is, I mean, that's the EU right now. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that something's coming to the United States. It's got to. I mean, they're marching, Facebook in front of the Congress and all this other stuff. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be next month. It's coming where people have to feel like politicians have done something about their data. So,
Mhm.
so something is going to happen. Whether or not it will look like that, it probably look very similar. So, that being said, I want somebody else to deal with that if I can.
Yeah, definitely. Do you remember back okay, this is going back like 18 years, but I remember when setting up for authorized.net and I think 18, I don't know exactly the year now. I know it was like around, Y2K and the whole thing where that X.com and PayPal, and they eventually merged and it's PayPal. But I mean, it was kind of before the PayPal because that kind of came in the middle of it. But it was like nobody knew how to set up for authorized.net. And we were one
Mm-hmm.
of the few as we were selling domain registrations that actually was set up to take payments. And it was like, wow, you know how to do that? You know how to do e-commerce, this whole thing. And it was like, this until thank God for PayPal because now you can get a PayPal button and people can actually pay you. But now you have to rethink the whole PayPal thing because as wonderful as PayPal is, like what you're saying, Charles, you're stuck unless all of it's happening in PayPal. Is there any
Yeah, I
portion
mean,
that you're responsible for on that?
yeah, I mean, if they're holding on to data, right? I don't want to hold. I want to hold on to as little as I can. So whatever they've got there, they've got to make sure that when the customer puts their name and email address in there to pay through PayPal, that they can go and get that information from PayPal. Whatever they give to me, I got to be responsible for it. So everybody, person's got to be able to go and delete everything that I've ever, I guess, starting in May 25th, they got to be able to go in whenever they want to, get all their data, see where it is, what I have on them, and then be able to delete it. All right. And so if JV Zoo has transaction information, that helps, right? Because I guess to some degree, JV Zoo's got to make it easy, right? Not at my request, at the customer's request to delete all this stuff. They
I
got to be
like
able to go
that.
and do that. Yeah,
Sorry.
I don't want to handle it.
I get tired of being, I'm just gonna be honest. I get tired of being asked for a phone number because a lot of times I buy something and I don't mind if you send an email and I understand, getting an email, but it's like, look, dude, I'm giving you money. That should be enough. I shouldn't have to give you my phone number because I've gotten calls and no offense to people in India. I'm sorry, guys, but I've gotten calls from India on my Skype line on the actual phone number in the middle of the night. And it's like, okay, do I need to give up my sleep to receive phone calls from people that I haven't requested? Because not very many
Exactly.
people have my Skype number. I don't put it into those forms that we're talking about here. So it doesn't really apply to the topic. But I mean, people will get it and call it anyway. And yeah, you know what, Charles? I like the law from that aspect. As a consumer, I should be able to go in and delete my phone number because I don't want phone calls.
Yeah, and so really, the service that JV Zoo is providing is is it again is a significant chunk of money, right? There's no question 5% on a transaction is significant. Um, but even if you look at it from the the affiliate standpoint, right? Um, there is a network of people who look for things that they can send out to their mailing list, and their incentive is that they're paid instantly, right? Now that's different from if I'm running my own affiliate program. I could probably do something with adaptive payments so that the affiliate is paid instantly. I'm not going to do that though. JV Zoo, as you said, because of the volume of payments they do, and because when you're looking at something on there, you can assess somebody's reputation. They can kick somebody off the network, right? With some incentive, right? So in other words, you want to act right because if you don't, you get kicked off of there. Can't
Mm-hmm.
make any more money. If you're doing just my affiliate program, you may not have. I don't know. Well, that's just Charles's affiliate program. I mean, so what if I get kicked off of this? A thousand more like him. So I think again, it is a huge opportunity for people who want to, I think, sell digitally, who want to sell online, and with JVZoo, um, there is, I'd say, a learning curve, but it's not impossible. So a person can get in there, and if they're reasonably technical, reasonably, they can get a buy button stuck onto something and put it up for sale.
I love how you said stuck on this. I'm just picturing this because what was it? We were us watching. Oh, I wish I could remember the sitcom. I think it's a newer sitcom or something. Where whatever the person got the grandma got the computer and couldn't figure out how to push the power button. Okay, love you, grandma, all the pieces. But if you can't figure out how to push the power button, maybe JVZoo might be a little bit more complicated,
Might
and
be
you
a
need
little too
to
much, right? Yeah.
ask your grandson, your granddaughter, your children to help you get JVZoo set up. But yeah, I think comparing it to other sites, actually, and even comparing it to other affiliate, what would be considered affiliate sites like Commission Junction, CJ,
And ClickBank.
um, ClickBank. Yeah, I think actually, I dare say, am I being biased because I've been using JVZoo so much? But I think it's easier to navigate.
It is, especially as a seller. I think even as a buyer too, um, because it is a network and they make things a little more, they make them accessible, right? ClickBank's function is not to have necessarily a marketplace that's going to be accessible, like JVZoo. I mean, they really are encouraging you. Not only if you're a buyer, they really want you to be a seller too. They don't just
Right.
want you to be a buyer. They want you to sell because, again, I mean, they make their money on the sale, right? So
Right.
they're always encouraging you, no matter what you buy, man, come and sell something, right? And so, um, and it is skewed toward people who, um, are in the business opportunity slash internet marketing slash information marketing niche or market. It's geared toward that. You can sell anything. I mean, you sell coffee cups if you want to, right? I mean,
Well, even now, right? With the didn't they
that's
just
right.
recently do the shipping and all that stuff? They
That's right.
offline, yeah.
But basically, though, the people that are going to be frequenting and who would not be, because some people are going to freak out when they see a JVZoo button, right? Some people, if they've never seen one before, and they click on it and they go to this new interface, they're going to freak out if they've never seen one before. But the people who are kind of in the information marketing world, the button's invisible to them. The whole process is invisible
It's
to them.
like I've
Nobody,
never seen the button. It's like I just click on it.
you
Is
just
it?
click right, yeah, just trying to get something. And so I think, when it comes to this network, right? It does, and I don't use it as much as a seller as I used to. However, what I will say is that, starting out, it was absolutely, and I still think it is, um, the easiest place to start and sell a product, um, I've ever come across.
Okay.
Most hassle free.
Okay, people watching this are wondering, okay, so if he's not using it every time, what else is he using? Warrior Plus, is that
Right. Yeah. And I've come to use Warrior Plus mainly because, from a competitive standpoint, um, everybody was doing JVZoo, right? So it wasn't even, and there are, there's some differences that are there, but I think, my partner and I, we talked about it. We just said, well, everybody's over there, right? And there really is no difference. All the affiliates are the same people, right? So
Mhm.
some people are pro on JVZoo, some Warrior Plus. We just didn't want to be in the same spot because, I mean, there are a lot of sellers in JVZoo because of the nature, again, because of the ease of using the network. There are a lot
Right.
of sellers over there. And the other thing too is that, uh, I think because we do content and not software, um, we felt like we could be more competitive with other, content creators on Warrior Plus, because the real, I think, if you want to call it the real edge JVZoo has, is that they have a lot of software creators and a
Right.
lot of people that create, various kinds of software, do lots of different kinds of things in information marketing, even outside of it. Um, and they do that well, right?
Mhm.
They do it. They
I
make it
bought
available.
everything.
Right. Yeah. I buy as a buyer. That's where I get a lot of software. Um, as a seller, if I ever were to decide to do software of some kind, I would do that. I
Yep.
would do JVZoo.
And that does make sense as far as, but in fairness to Wire Plus, that's a pretty easy interface, straightforward. It's different, but it's not difficult.
Right. It's not impossible. Now, as a seller, it is.
Oh,
It's a little more challenging. And all of it is just a learning curve to get used to it. Like you couldn't. I don't know if you could look at it and just instantly see what's happening. You'd have to really kind of be kind of focused on getting something up and running. Like you just it's less intuitive.
okay.
But after the sales process, though, what I will say about this is that again, for the customer experience, I prefer it. Right.
Mhm.
So the experience that the person who's going to be buying, I like that experience over and above JVZoo. I do.
It's
Um,
less dramatic, or I don't know if that's the right
it
word for it,
is.
but it
Right,
just,
right.
you get
It's
in and
very
get it done.
straightforward.
Yeah.
Right. It's very straightforward. And most people, um, I think I wouldn't say appreciate it, but they don't dislike it. Right.
Right.
So they kind of get in, like you said, they get out and they can go back to it. They get an email that's kind of clickable. And again, everything they do from the customer standpoint, I prefer that over JVZoo.
And both of them, in all fairness, both of them have a very good reporting system. So sometimes I'll be buying something and I'm on my way to go out and do, go out shopping or whatever I'm doing. And it's like, I want to get this really quick and then I'll look at it later. And that's what I love is other things you can purchase, and you have to make sure you watch your email. If you don't grab it right when you purchase it, you're watching your email or you're looking back at your PayPal, or you're trying to make sure that you downloaded it. And like, oh, sorry, you didn't download it within 30 days. Now you don't get it.
Right.
It's like, but wait, I paid for it. And this whole hassle. That's what I love about JVZoo and Warrior Plus, is that I can go look at the whole listing and actually
Yep.
go through. And sometimes I hate to say this, I purchase a lot, so I might miss one. It's like, why didn't I use that one 3 months ago or something? But if it's not been like a year or something, for the most part, you can still get in and get access. If it's a well-known vendor, especially, and I try to stick with the well-known ones. I had
Right.
what was an Instagram program, and I can't remember what the time period is, but like the day after the time period where JVZoo would cover it as far as refund, the guy literally
Disappeared.
dropped off the face of the earth. I contacted the affiliate whom I had bought it through, and they never responded. So if you are using either platform, any platform for that matter, this isn't just JVZoo or Warrior Plus, work through affiliates that you feel comfortable working with.
Oh,
Because
yeah,
I've,
absolutely. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because the affiliate will try to run them down.
yep, yep. Because I've
Right.
done, I've seen something, and Charles, I've looked up to see if you've sent out a notice so that I can, not so I can harass you, but so you get the, the
Hmm.
commission. I'll look up, Andy Black's another one that I purchased a lot of things through him, and I've been able to contact some of these people just on Facebook to say, dude, what's happening? I'm not getting this product or whatever, and they'll say, hey, I've got you covered. And what is it, Sam Baker, another
Yeah.
one?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of well-known ones that they will go, and when I get a hold of them, they go to bat for me, and within an hour, I've got the product. I've got it. So even if I don't know the vendor, the affiliate will advocate on my behalf. So yeah, try to work with the well-known, because they, like you said, there's a reputation aspect of
Yep.
that one, and they
Yep.
want to protect their reputation. So, but unfortunately, this Instagram thing, I don't think either one. Well, actually, it's funny. The affiliate, I don't remember who it is, but he was not unknown. That's a double negative intentionally. He was not completely unknown, but believe me, I will be looking up exactly who that was, and I will not ever be purchasing anything through that person. I'm sorry, but if you don't advocate, you don't even answer me when I say,
Yeah.
what the, what happened?
Right. Right. Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
purchasing through you.
Yeah. And see, the whole and that again, and when I talk about the differences, right, probably talking about between the 50-yard line and the 45-yard line, right? We're not talking about like these huge differences. There's like these little things that, the further I get into it, like I prefer some things. But that being said, uh, the process in those two places lend themselves toward things happening fast. And I think As a seller, you appreciate that. As a buyer, you appreciate that. As an affiliate, you appreciate that. That number one, as an affiliate, right? All the information is there as the seller. Like, okay, so between the seller and the affiliate, there are no mysteries. So in other words, if I make a sale for this person, we can both look at that transaction and we'll know what happened, right?
That's
As a
helpful.
yeah,
Mhm.
and because there's no and J's and Warrior Plus make sure you get paid as an affiliate, right? So there's no mystery. In other words, I made the sale, they instantly distribute whatever I'm due as an affiliate, and I think that is the now that's the difference between that and maybe clickbank. But now, I mean, the flip side of that is that there are times when a transaction goes bad before 30 days, and then those two entities they have to back money out of an account. Right now, as an affiliate, that's discouraging. Right when you see money that went in to come back out, that's just part of the law. But you protect yourself as an affiliate by promoting people that are going to stand behind their stuff, right?
Mhm.
So I don't want to promote anybody that's going to make me look bad, but then also, I mean, take money out of my account, right?
Right.
Because they're not going to serve a customer.
Right. That's a really good point. I had a product, and I won't say what the product is because there's probably people out there getting it, but it was a product that was advertised to do something. It wasn't false advertising. It was just simply that that product was not something I would ever use. And so we'll call it, because
Right.
I want to protect the reputation of the what it was. We'll just call it a misunderstanding. But dumb me, I went to go purchase it again because I fell for the same thing and I didn't remember that, and I did do, but I apologize to the affiliate and the sale, and it's like it's not your fault. It's just I'm not understanding what you're presenting and I'm thinking it's something else. But I will try to commit to not ever accidentally buying it again, so we don't have. But they were really cool within 2 minutes because it's like, oh no, now I know what this is when I got the product. And again, it's not a bad product. It's just something I would never ever use. There's no point in paying money for that. And I explained that to them. But that's going to happen. You're slanted or biased a certain way. You're going to be looking for a certain product and you're going to read the information. The information is not incorrect. It's just
Right.
you're going to read it like through certain rose-colored glasses, if you will. And that's where it's nice that a lot of times they'll say right on there, hey, 30-day, try this out, 30-day money back guarantee. And yeah, that gets me because like, well, what can I lose? I'll just try it out. And if I don't like it, then I'll get a refund.
Right.
People love
Yeah.
me.
And there are I'd say each network sort of has a persona, right? And because JVZoo does mostly software, you're going to have people who've been in it a little while. That doesn't mean that you don't have new people over there. It means that most of the people who are making a lot of money, who are selling stuff, they've probably been in the game a little while. People who are going to tend toward China starting out, they're going to probably be on Warrior Plus unless they were there from the very beginning, right? So there's
Okay.
some people on Warrior Plus, they just been around forever, and they chose not to leave even when JVZoo came. But for the most part, you're starting out. Maybe you don't have a slick looking sales page. Maybe your sales video doesn't. Well, I mean, Google Chrome eliminated sales videos, right? But um, uh, you don't have to have anything pretty to be on Warrior Plus. You sort of have to have like it has to really your presentation has to be, I think, comparable on Warrior Plus to all of the other stuff. And so that does put a little more pressure on you as a seller to be a little slicker, to make sure that you have, if you can, a copywriter, right? I would probably write my own copy on Warrior Plus. I have, right? I have not
Mhm.
hired out a copywriter. Even, the guy I work with, we don't hire out a copywriter. We write it ourselves. However, if I were to move that product onto JVZoo, before I actually launched it, I would consider whether or not I would have a copywriter because it's all perception, right? And everything else over there is kind of
Over the top or
yeah, there's more to it. So it is a real bona fide headline. It is a real bona fide empathy statement. There's a real bona fide, all the other stuff in direct response is in those sales letters. You may
almost
not
too
have
much.
all that. almost too much.
I
Right.
would just scroll to the bottom and say, okay, all right, looks good. What's the price? 67. Okay, I got to think about it and reread. Scroll back up. Look, $9. We'll just go for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No. Right. Yeah. And so I mean the whole thing is, but again, it is a preference. I mean I could probably talk about it all day, but it is a matter of sort of as a seller, where you want to be strategically. Because the money is about the same that you're going to pay. I think Warrior Plus is 3.9 cents plus 30 cents, and JV's is 5%.
So it's not too far off. Okay, so as we're wrapping up and highlighting some points, I do want to say, I mean, this is totally unrelated. I know we're talking about JV Zoo, but totally unrelated. But mentioned earlier, CJ, Mission Junction. If anyone's using that one, and I like Charles how you said the internet marketing. That's kind of JV Zoo's kind of catering internet marketing. But I
Mhm.
was thinking about this because I actually have a beauty site as well, and so I'm not tending to go to JV Zoo for products for the beauty
Right.
site, but I go to Commission Junction. There's Coastal Scents. There's, I'm not trying to say this to advertise people, but I mean, there's different products there that actually cater really well to the beauty site. So I
Mhm.
use Commission Junction. But note to anyone using Commission Junction, turn your ad blocker off. Okay, so this, I just have an ad blocker on all the time. I don't have a problem turning it off when I get those little things that pop up that say, hey, you can't see this content because you have an ad blocker on. I don't know if it's just me. I've never seen that pop up on Commission Junction, but I've gone to their page and like clicked on something, a report, and completely white page. And it's like,
Mhm.
what on earth? I'm thinking, oh, they're down. I'll check them later. Completely white page. Now, I mean, I finally just was playing around. It's like, I wonder if it's the ad blocker. And I turned it off. It's like, oh, there's content there. So
Yeah.
Commission Junction, I love you all that, but you really should put a warning to let people know why they can't see things. So if you're going to Commission Junctions, completely white page, check your ad blocker. That might be a problem.
Yep.
Again, I don't know where that fits in and what marketing momentum, but it seems like it should just throw it in if you're using that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so the bullet points, if people are starting out as a seller, try JV Zoo until you can kind of get the hang of it.
Yeah. If you're selling to the business opportunity internet marketing crowd and you're just starting, right, I would start on Warrior Plus. If
Okay.
you were selling a software solution, I would start with JVZoo.
Okay. And what about as far as landing page and developing that? I know there's other recommendations that could be a whole nother marketing momentum, but is that something you can hire a copywriter? And this is not copywriter as in we copyright, with the little C. That's spelled differently. We're talking copywriter as in writing marketing content. Sales. Okay, that's a whole nother discussion. But anyway, that would apply to both networks, right? It's not
Well,
like
I would say if you're going to do software, I mean, you've probably got some costs tied up into development. I would plan to spend whatever you pay to have the software developed. I would count on spending another 1,000, 2,000 to have a copywriter, because when you start talking about investing in people to create software, I don't think you should be writing your own copy personally,
okay. Okay.
because there's too much tied up in the investment, and you do need to convert visitors to sellers just to cover your costs. And so you can't take any chances with that. So I would say that, and it's almost a contradiction. The more you spent, the more you need to spend on the copywriter, right? If you spend money to have the product developed, you do need to spend a margin more to have a copyright. And I'm going to say minimum you need to be probably spending. I think you could maybe get by with somebody who's got something on sale that you know well for $500, and that's really scraping the bottom. I think that if you should be planning on spending $1,500, $2,000 minimum to get that copywriting right.
Okay, that makes sense. That's good for people to know to expect that because it's so hard to know what are the ranges. Which, speaking of ranges, I learned the hard way that the first one in JV Zoo don't offer something for $500. I think they wanted to laugh at me. They, they wouldn't let me do the Hangout Queen package, which was coaching and all this stuff. And it's not that it wasn't worth it, but you can go somewhere else and they'll charge $500. But it's not JV Zoo is not the place that you're going to charge $500 out of the starting gate. It seems like what is it? They like was
Well, it takes
997. Is that JV Zoo or hmm?
process. They take you through an approval process now, so they just want to look at it. They want to make sure, they want to look at your thank you page and make sure you're actually delivering something. Um, and I think there is a kind of a, I think it would be hard for somebody brand new to get approved for a $497 product.
I didn't, so I'd like on that one. But what is, I think, maybe a reasonable cap, 67? I mean, there's some stuff that's 97. But if you're just starting out, a high end is 67.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you can probably plan to be able to sell something for $97 without
Mhm.
having to go through an approval process, um, or a difficult one. I think anything above that, you're gonna want to make sure you've got all the stuff like your terms and conditions, privacy policy. Make sure your thank you page is really set up so that it is clear that when people get to that thank you page, they are getting something, right? So when JVZoo delivers them to that link, the thank you page should reflect that what the person paid for, they're getting, right?
Right, right,
Can't be like, I'm going to send them to a PDF, or, I'm just going to send them to a form and have them fill it out. Because again, one thing that's really not cool, that I think JVs would kind of put it into is they don't want you sending people from the thank you page, what should be the thank you page, to an opt-in form, right?
right,
Somebody paid for
right.
something. It's not cool to put them through an opt-in process to get what they paid for.
No, I think those are two different things. Opt-in, I'm okay if it's free, but if I paid money, I should be getting the product or the service or whatever it is. Okay, man, we can almost do a part 2 on this one. But
No question.
looking at the clock, I think we've overloaded your brains already with JVZoo. So go check it out. Oh, where do people go for Warrior Plus? What's the easiest way to go check them out?
Warriorplus.com.
Makes sense to me. Warriorplus.com. I always follow the link. It's like, okay, which network? All right. And jvzoo.com. So
Yep.
check it out, whether you're a buyer, a seller, or an affiliate. And we can cover more aspects of this in another session of Marketing Momentum with Charles and Deborah. And thank you for tuning in for this session.
Bye-bye, Deb. Bye, everybody.
Bye.